little spaces between the eloquent sentences of His Holiness Jayapataka Thakur Maharaj that he did not speak, I will say something. We're sitting in the birthplace of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Srivas Thakur had an elder brother named Sri Nalini Pandit. His daughter was Narayani. Narayani was famous because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would regularly feed her the remnants from his own mouth. He would bite from some bhoga and then deliver it with his own lotus hand to Narayani. She became famous as the recipient of Lord Chaitanya's remnants. She married a very great devotee named Thakur. And here they had a son, Vrindavan Das. But when Vrindavan, when he was very, very young, father died. And Vasudev Datta, who was such a charitable person, such a compassionate person who lived in this just a few minutes away, helped to raise Vrindavan. In the association of Srivas Thakur, Vasudev Thakur, his mother Narayani, he was constantly hearing the teachings and pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. And from his childhood, he was a favorite of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. In fact, it is said he was the last initiated disciple of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda treated him not only like a disciple, but like his own son. When Nityananda Prabhu disappeared from this world, Janava Devi, she was very affectionate to him. Treated him also like a son, constantly nourishing him with her love, with her compassion, and with narrations of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda's pastimes. Lord Nityananda Prabhu personally instructed him and empowered him, along with all these other great souls, to write the first. Murari Gupta also wrote, but one of the first biographies of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he entitled it Chaitanya Mangala. Later on, Lochan Das Thakur wrote a book of the same name. So the great Vaishnavas, they changed the name of Vrindavan Das Thakur's book to Chaitanya Bhagavat. The reason why is they knew for sure that he was Vyasadeva. Just as Srila Vyasadeva had written the Srimad Bhagavatam, describing most authoritatively and comprehensively the pastimes of Krishna. That same Vyasadeva descended in order to give the world the pastimes and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. It was in Denor where he actually wrote Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. But it was here that he was brought up. Let us bow our head at the lotus feet of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in dozens and dozens of verses, glorifies Vrindavan Das Thakur. He calls him the Vedavyas of Krishna's Leela, of Lord Chaitanya's Leela. Lord Chaitanya, he asked Shivananda Sen, you take care of the accounts of Vasudev Datta, because he has to be practical. Everything is for others, but he forgets about himself and his own. On Lord Chaitanya's order, because Lord Chaitanya was concerned with Vasudev Datta's life also. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, Srivas Thakur left here and went to Kumarhata, as did Vasudev Datta. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a sannyasi, came to Kumarhata and stayed at the house of Srivas Thakur. That's a beautiful story. Lord Chaitanya was there for several days doing Nam Sankirtan. And he saw that Srivas Thakur and his brothers, all they did, all day and all night, was just study Srimad Bhagavatam, discuss Krishna Katha, and do Nam Sankirtan. And yet, they were brothers, they were uncles, they were aunts, they were cousins, they were nephews, they were nieces, they were children. Lord Chaitanya asked him, how do you make a living, Srivas? How are you maintaining your family? Srivas said, I don't worry about those things. You're just chanting and dancing and reading Bhagavatam all day. You have to make an income. You're a grihasta. Srivas said, I'm not interested in those things. Lord Chaitanya said, then you should take sannyas. At least then you can beg. He said, no, sannyas, I am not qualified. I will not take sannyas. No, why don't you even go out of your house and beg for food? You're a Brahmin. Srivas said, no, begging. Then how will you maintain your family? It's a big family. Srivas Thakur smiled. He said, my answer is 1, 2, 3. Then he fell silent. Lord Chaitanya said, say that again? Srivas Thakur, 1, 2, 3. What is this 1, 2, 3? What kind of answer is that? Srivas Thakur said, if time it takes for me to clap my hands 3 times, or even 3 days, if there's any shortage in my house when I'm worshipping Srimad Bhagavatam and chanting the holy names of the Lord, if Krishna doesn't provide for that amount of time, then I vow. Today I make this vow. I will bind a rope around my neck, I will tie it to a heavy rock, and I will throw it in the Ganges and end my life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard that. He ecstatically cried out, Haribo! Said, Srivas Thakur, your faith in Krishna is so great that I will make a vow today. That even if there's so much of a drought, even if there's so much turmoil in this universe, that Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, has to beg door to door with a begging bowl. There will not even be a single moment when you or your family are ever in shortage of anything. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted from Gita, Ananya Chintayanto Yam Yejano, that for those who worship me with sincere devotion, Krishna says, I preserve what they have and I carry what they lack. Because you are chanting the holy names and preaching Krishna's message so sincerely, Srivas, you, all your family, will never find shortage. You are I am your property. It was at that time in Kumarahata that Shivananda Sain, who lived close by, and Vasudev Datta came to visit Lord Chaitanya. Vasudev Datta, he fell at Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet. He grasped onto those lotus-like feet and wept such tears. Vrindavan Das Thakur explained, he cried with such humility that stones melted, that sticks melted, and all people in all directions could only cry. He completely submitted himself to Lord Chaitanya. Vrindavan Das Thakur said there was no one in the universe like him. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he extolled for all time, for all people to hear, that I am only Vasudev Datta's man. I am his property. My body belongs to Vasudev Datta. Anywhere that he wants to sell me, I am sold. I tell you again, I am Vasudev Datta's property. Because of his pure heart, if anyone is touched by the breeze that has previously touched Vasudev Datta's body, Krishna will give that person love of God. He vowed 3 times, I am the property of Vasudev Datta. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami reveals the inner significance of why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt like this. A little later, when the Lord was living in Puri, all the devotees would go to the Gambhira, Lord Chaitanya's residence, to meet him. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one of his greatest happiness was to glorify his devotees. Just as devotees love to glorify God, God loves to glorify his devotees. And if Krishna and Lord Chaitanya love to glorify their devotees with their own mouths, can you imagine how dear someone is to them who sincerely glorifies them with their mouths? The Lord loves to hear the glories of his devotees. The Lord hates to hear the criticism of his devotees. And all of our spiritual advancement is simply samsiddhyar haritoshanam, how we please Krishna. So if we really want to make spiritual advancement, not only do we chant the holy names, but we give Krishna pleasure by speaking to others about the greatness of his devotees. Krishna has bestowed complete mercy on you. And he must satisfy your desire. All living entities in the entire universe will be delivered by your prayer, Vasudev Datta. So what will Krishna lose if one universe is gone? For those of you who have been to Radha Gopinath temple, you know in the front courtyard there is an Udumbara tree. And the way you know it is there's always these fruits falling. So many fruits. And there's so many seeds in each fruit. Little fruits. They're all in clusters. And it's a huge tree. Lord Chaitanya said, if one fruit falls from a gigantic Udumbara tree, what is the loss to the tree? Similarly, if one universe is lost from all the billions and trillions of universes, there's no loss to Krishna. If in a big barrel of mustard seeds, if one falls out, what is the loss? Krishna can empty the whole universe of all conditioned souls. But why would he make a person like you, such a loving devotee, suffer for their karma? Just by your prayer they will be delivered. That was Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feelings toward Vasudev Datta. Srila Prabhupada quotes from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Such magnanimous compassion is unparalleled. That Jesus Christ was all merciful. He was willing to suffer for the sins of his followers. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains how Vasudev Datta, his prayer was that he could suffer for every living entity in the universe, in every species of life, so that they could all go back to Godhead. We cannot imitate that. But a Vaishnav, in Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya, always longs to follow in the footsteps of Vasudev Datta. Srila Prabhupada was such a personification of that love. His Holiness Bhakti-tirtha Swami Maharaj wrote a very well-known Vyas Puja offering to Srila Prabhupada. That he saw much suffering within the world and the universe. Amongst the devotees of Islam also. Suffering, having to struggle with the mind and senses. Sufferings due to previous sufferings due to the inability to follow regulative principles. Sufferings due to misbehavior between each other. Sufferings due to all sorts of karma that has come down upon our movement, due to offenses. And he would tell me often how it just breaks his heart to see any devotee suffer, whoever they are. And on this particular Vyas Puja offering, he prayed in the footsteps of Vasudev Datta. That if the sins and karmas that are causing these devotees to suffer, if I could be in the honorable position to accept it so that they could be happy and I'll go back to Godhead and serve your mission wonderfully, it will be great for that. To clear our society so that the devotees could chant Hare Krishna, and as Indradyumna Maharaj quoted from Prabhupada, and our lives would be not only happy, but sublime. He made that prayer. And soon after that, we all know, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer and had to go through inconceivable physical discomfort. Rajalila Devi is here. She was right there by his side for all those months, faithfully with her husband Ekavir. I had the very exceptional good fortune of being invited to be with him for the last 7.5 weeks. And the wonderful thing is he never complained in our dialogues, which there were many. He never complained, why is this happening to me? In his heart, he was honored, he was grateful. He felt Srila Prabhupada and Krishna were actually giving him the honor of following in the footsteps of Vasudev Datta. Maybe even in a small way, to help Srila Prabhupada's society to recover from its problems, from its tragedies, to be restored and to flourish. So whether you want to pray like Vasudev Datta after seeing Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's example, I'm not going to give you any specific guidance in that way. But one thing we should all do, we should honor this Vasudev Datta's mood of compassion, which was factually imbibed to various degrees by every one of our great Vaishnavacharyas. That should be the standard by which we understand we're making real advancement. We lose the propensity to find faults in others, and we're willing to make sacrifices and even suffer to help others to come closer to Krishna. We should pray for that. To be an instrument of the compassion of Srila Prabhupada and our previous acharyas. There is no prayer that will please Krishna more than that. With that prayer, Radha and Krishna, Gaur Nitai, they will naturally fill our hearts with love of God if we are sincere. In this spirit, the Nam Sankirtan movement will have a tremendous impact on this world. So here, in the place of Vasudev Datta and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur and Sharanga Thakur, who was mercifully preaching to snakes and tigers and fish underwater, he was doing kirtan with. Let us express our prayer and loudly chant the holy name. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj ki jai, Vasudev Datta ki jai, Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Shri Gaur ki jai, Gaur ki jai.